Okay guys, welcome. It is episode 13 and you find me here sat in what will be my season 2 area, and I seem to just be spending all my time here on Zach Thamore's realm, and I tend to keep forgetting to press record, so I've done loads, as you can probably see, but that's not the whole point of this episode. In this episode, I wanted to show you my sugarcane farm in a little bit more detail, and I will probably jump into a creative world and just show you how I made it. It's not my design, it's been made by Silent Whisper. Actually, no, that's a lie. He made some improvements on a different YouTuber's version. As I said the last video, it works slightly differently to every other zero tick farm in Java, whereas our pistons on Bedrock aren't zero tick, so it doesn't have the same effect. But this one works. Instead of moving the sand blocks, which is what the Java edition one would be doing, this moves, if we go have a look, the water source here with the pistons, and as that water source is moving past it, it is basically tricking the sugarcane into growing. And as it'll only grow too high, we have the observer set at the same height, and then this little clock here stops the observer from being triggered by the pistons as they move. Underneath here then, if we can find the right spot, that'll do. Okay, so we have obviously the input line from the lever, which then goes into this clock here, which I believe, if I remember right, this is the one that controls our pistons here. Sorry if it's really loud, I don't quite know what the volume setting is. Yeah, it sets that clock off, which is nice and simple. It is 3 blocks in a V shape, redstone torch, redstone repeater going into this top block, which is then powering the redstone. And as that powers the redstone, it turns this, it puts power into this, which turns the redstone torch off. It just keeps going around in a circle. So that then feeds into these. We also have another clock here. I'm not 100% sure whether I've switched this clock off. So this used to be a clock. I know in the design it got shown it worked. I didn't tend to work for me, so all I'm doing is feeding a redstone line in from the on-off switch, which will then turn this redstone rail off, which will allow the hopper just to sit there when it's not being used. It goes through here, up into Nightingale elevator, and straight into my water stream, and into the double chest here, which I took some out before, so it could take a little while before it starts to trickle into here. I'll switch it off. And you should hear it ticking away. And we have another double chest up there, which is what collects it to start off with, and then it trickles down into this one, and into, well, basically into these two. Oh, yeah, I just trying to work out then why it wasn't trickling into it. I took 5 stacks out earlier, so it's probably trickling into the hopper first. But it does fill up really quickly. So what I will do, guys, is next time you see me, I will be sat in a creative world. I will show you how to build one segment, and then I'm sure I don't have to go through with you guys how to make the unloading system with a rail cart underneath it. Prefer to use the rail cart, or if you're obviously rich with the supplies, I'm trying to think of the words, not thinking very well, you can make it slightly differently. I'm not that rich on this yet. I'm going to be building up now to make a much bigger, much better version of this up on the top up here. I'm hoping that I will have had a chance to build it, come on to season 2 before I build it, but I probably won't. Knowing me, I will be too eager to start it. We've got Bill and Bob down there. I don't know why, I like calling them Bill and Bob. Both are masters. Don't particularly give me a huge amount of stuff, but it's good to have villagers. I'll have to make a village breeder out of them. So, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay guys, welcome back. We are going to start making one of these lovely zero tick. I use that very loosely, as I was explaining before. But what we'll do is make one of these more expensive way, just so you guys have an idea of how really I would like to do it, just to set it up properly, rather than having a rail cart going backwards and forwards that you have to stop continuously for it to allow it to catch up. So we'll start with, we'll do 4 slices. So in a normal one, what we would do is we would have a minecart running along here, which pop into a hopper here. It'll just keep going backwards and forwards, dropping off stuff in a hopper here with a usual gate. But what we'll do instead is we'll have, I've got rid of the chest, so that is really helpful. We'll have just a line of hoppers instead. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to put 4 pistons out there. We'll get rid of those. Then we'll go 4 pistons sat facing towards us. Let's box it all in. I thought I'd use lime concrete today just because I think it'll go quite well with what we're building, since it is sugarcane. Okay, so we need to get the, as I said it, the more expensive versions in. So with this, what we're actually going to do is we're going to drop some minecart with hopper into it. So we're going to go along, this is probably the easiest way I've ever seen of doing it. Put a block underneath, put a rail on top, put the minecart on top of that, and just drop it in. It just works so well, and you're not having to try and squeeze and try and move minecarts around, which can be an awful challenge, especially as it's slightly bigger than a block space. Okay, from there we're going to go along, we're going to put dirt blocks, which I think have gone slightly wrong, but we can remedy that quite easily. We're going to put a line of blocks like that down, see if we can get low enough to allow us to put these facing downwards, which we can't. So we'll just cover all that up and just make it look a bit better. We'll go up one more. You might think it's a bit counterproductive, but this should allow me to get that reach inside, which will give us the amazing amount of space that we need, and all we'll do is just go along and fill that up with dirt. We don't need that one. I've tried to record this once before. I made myself look stupid because I couldn't press it down, but I'm learning while showing you guys. So do that, and then we've got perfectly set up there. Right, so next thing we need, we're going to come along here with some block. We're going to, what do we not need now? Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that because we don't need them now. We don't need those. We need some stairs of some sort. We'll block it off at the ends here. We'll get some glass as well. We'll go with some black. Let's make it look a little nicer. And we'll need some water. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have, let's fly for a minute. We're going to set up stairs here with some glass in front. Now this glass does two things. Well, you don't have to have it there, it's up to you, but I do like to put it there because as we start to waterlog those stairs, it would seep everywhere. You can't put it the other side because then when you knock all the blocks out, it just sees it. It will just wipe it out again. So what we'll do now is let's set up this top set of pistons. We'll block that off. We need to have our observer block because I forgot about it. Let's put that in there and we'll start setting up everything we need to. So we have water blocked. I'm awful today. Right. So here we'll leave that as it is for the redstone. I know I've not particularly been very helpful. We actually need that to get going. So redstone on this, really easy. Repeat us into the bottom block to power that one. That set of pistons. We have redstone torches on the pistons, which will switch out every time that repeater is fired. So we'll do that. We'll set up this simply and do that. A redstone block underneath. Let's go. Right, in order to stop it, to get it to go on off, all you need to do is run a signal into this bottom block, which will then switch off the torch, which won't create a circuit, which is really helpful. And hopefully, with the fact that we've moved those top pistons, it should now let us. Let's get rid of that. I need to get the sugarcane. I am amazingly awful at finding stuff on here. I don't play with creative very often, and it shows. Right. So that, in theory, if we knock that out, we'll get all those firing. And this thing will grow as far as 2. So let's get a torch, let's stop it for a minute. let's set up the firing mechanism, and let's get some chests just to show you how fast this thing fills up. So let's do that. Okay, so the firing sequence come out with from this very corner observer here. We're going to do a 3x3 square, one block lower. We're going to have a block there, a block there. We're going to have a repeater coming out on 2 ticks. A repeater coming out of this block on 2 ticks. And then we're going to go redstone there. We'll pile redstone all the way along, which will then fire those pistons. And we'll have one here set at 3 ticks. Now that should send a signal around to hit these and should stop. Should then cut it out while that is firing. I'm not 100% sure myself. I'm not quite that technically gifted yet to quite understand it. I just know it works. It stops this observer observing these 4 pistons from when they're working. So effectively that should work now. Why did that not work? Oh, because it didn't have its pulse. Right. Let's get rid of those. As you can see, it works quite happily. So let's turn it on. We'll swap it around. We'll put a torch there. Take that out. And then let's go. Fire! As you can see, it works rather quickly. Now honestly, if you were to leave this for about an hour, you would fill this up rather quick. You see how fast this stuff's coming in. So just for your benefit and for mine, in order to sort of help my explanation, because I'm not that good at explaining, I'm going to leave this running for 5 minutes and I'll be back to you and we'll see how full it is. Okay guys, 5 minutes are up. I've done a little bit of decorating in that time, just to show you how I would personally do it. Okay, so just to hide the grotesqueness of this bottom bit of redstone, unless you really like redstone, I don't think you really want to be seeing this. I would build it underground a bit and build it into a wall, and then all you've got is this nice, clean, fresh, just a quick display. If you wanted, put the chests up here, use droppers, use water elevator, or just a dropper line if you really have a lot of redstone and a lot of materials, and just have a few chests by the side just to fill it up. But talking about chests, let's see how much it actually produced in those 5 minutes. Wow, just a little over 6.5 stacks. Well, no, 6.5 stacks in, I say 5 minutes, it was 7:34 when I stopped. When I stopped and let you guys go off, and it was 7:39 when I came back. So yeah, done all 5 minutes. Wow, not even I can time that very well. So thank you guys very much for watching. That is my quick explanation on how this sugar farm can be created. If you're doing it this way, I would say you could just expand it continuously. If you're using minecart rails to run along the bottom of this line and pick everything up from the top, really, with the speed that this is producing, limitations are really about 6, because then it starts to get built up in the bottom and the minecart hopper isn't quite picking it up all the time. And the way I have it, it's just sucked straight back into the hopper, which has 5 lots, and it can just slowly cycle its way through. Like this, you can tile it completely to as many as you would like. If you wanted to do full stacks, that would just be incredible. I might just do that in the next episode. It sounds really fun. We're going to build it exactly as I have now. We're going to do 64 tiles of it, which is going to be incredibly complex to try and get this redstone right. But we will do it just purely for scientific benefit. But yeah, you can tile it. You could double it up if you wanted. So instead of this glass pane here, you have another row there, and you have it all piling up this side. And if you pick it right, so you've got your on-off switch here, you're golden. That would just be incredible. A word of warning: I don't think it's very, as much as in the last episode I said that I would try and create a realm-breaking farm. I don't think this is going to be a realm breaking. I don't think it really causes any lag realm side. It causes a lot of client lag, especially once you start hitting a lot higher. This my six plant one on Zach's realm, as well as me spending maybe 40 minutes sat in front of the zombie spawner at the bottom. The game is near enough unplayable. I don't know whether that is because the specs of my PC, it's not particularly high spec, or whether that is just because it is struggling. The game itself is struggling with the amount of entities and things that have been produced. But that's not really for me to get into on this episode, so what I will do is I will say goodbye. See you in the next episode.